Hey YouTube, I went and picked up a bass yesterday, so I did a video of the whole thing. Didn't really think about it too much, couldn't really be bothered editing it properly, so there's bits that are speeded up, and bits that are kind of silent because it's going too fast, and lots of rubbish in it. I never stopped talking the whole time, which made it very difficult to actually edit anything interesting in. So, yeah, I'll put the link up. I've got the unedited video if you really want to, like if you're ill or can't get to sleep, maybe, or like an insomniac or something. That might be it might be good for you. I'll put the link up there just now, and enjoy, and I'll see you at the end. Hey YouTube, yeah, so off for a wee sunny drive to Stirling, where everyone talks high. They say distortion instead of distortion. Hey Jenny, I'm not really being nasty about that. Yeah, so looking about in Facebook Marketplace, seen something I couldn't say no to. It's an Encore P-Bass, but like an 80s, early 90s one. So basically it looks the same as that Fernandez bass I got, and I think it might even be quite a short scale. This is for 7. No wonder who works in there. And then there's the other co-op, which is literally 2 minutes away. 2 minutes. Basically, if you can't get parked outside that one, you just park in that one. Even not planning things. Yes, right. So, yeah, so Stirling, half an hour away. I should really give it. He'll be working. I was going to say pop in and see Jerry. Not actually that far away from him. But so it's it might be a short scale or a medium scale P-Bass. Well, P-Bass pickup. And just when you look at these things, the thing that always gives away, it's the same with guitars. You look at the pickups, you know, you get what was the one I did? It wasn't that long ago. Was it the Boba Fettlecaster? No, it was another one I had, and I was sitting looking at it, and I was like, pickups look awfully big. And the thing was, I was actually playing the guitar, and I think I only had, 4 strings on it or something, so I was playing away at it, and it was like just to see if anything worked. And it was like, these pickups look awfully big. And then I noticed the whole thing's a 3/4 size, so it was like a 22-inch scale or something. So I'm not really sure what to expect for this. It doesn't have a pointy headstock. It's got just a sort of headstock, which is kind of not what a non-committal headstock, a sort of rounded Telecaster slash Stratocaster type headstock, a P-Bass pickup, volume and a tone. What else do you want? So I might even be able to do a video on my way home somewhere, because I've got my wee battery powered amp. I think, to be honest, at the price it's at, my main want is, well, obviously I want the neck to not be fucked. But it's got 4 tuners and a bridge, so it's got strings on it. I'm hoping the strings are savable or usable, because I'm struggling to get a set of strings that don't cost the same as what the bass did with the cheapest strings I could find, and I'm not talking about roto sounds. He's also got another guitar. So do you want this? It's just a wee nylon string acoustic, and the gig bag it comes in is just like, looks like it's made out of a tent. It's like a proper 50s gig bag, so I'm probably going to end up buying that as well. I'll see how it goes. So I could have maybe just got, actually an idea to clean the two of them up, go over to Scott's and then have a jam, or even an outdoor jam in his garden or something. Just like here's a jam you can have for no money. Well, obviously it's not no money, and it is half an hour to get there. But it's very scenic today. I should probably work out some way of, I could maybe stick the camera on my head and then sort of slouch a little bit, maybe get a little bit of, I'll do that. Am I going to get stopped? I don't mean stopped with the police, I just mean rather than trying to attach a GoPro to my head while I'm driving on an A road, if there's a set of lights or something I'm stopped at, probably better. Or did I just put watch this. Straight at my belly if I do that. Right, so I've no idea what angles we're at here. Can you see me in the mirror? Yeah, so it's obviously a bit high. So here we go, it's on the sheepland. I'll try and look at exciting things. Even see, so how do I slouch more than this? If I put the seat back, can I sort of, this is kind of, when I used to have a Capri, this is just basically, it's actually feeling quite funky, sitting quite just so laid back, which was the only option in a Capri. Yeah, I can see it, because the roof wasn't very high. So this is us going to, this is the back road, just coming up for Kilsyth. Well, I think we might be, I can't remember exactly where. I've not been paying attention. Have we been anywhere yet? Coming up to Banton first, perhaps? And this is the, if you turn right here, which is the way Scott came the other day, he said, his sat-nav likes to see the world, and his Jag that brought him this way, from, even though his house is totally the opposite direction. He came in from Twecker, which is there. My speed is 37. Well, it's green, so it must be a 40. But at least I'm actually outside getting some, I'm not really getting any air because I'm in the car, but I'm getting some daylight. That's got to be good, doesn't it? It's got to be getting me some sort of UV to get rid of my ridiculous almost blue-white Scottish complexion. I never felt as white as when I was on a Chinese beach. It was in winter, so there wasn't very many people there, and I was in my, I'm going to say swimming trunks, but I didn't have swimming trunks, so I'm in my pants, and it was like I must have been a beacon you could see from offshore. It's just like I felt so unbelievably white, kind of opaque, light blue white. Yeah, I don't think that's racist. That's slagging off me. So you're allowed to be racist about yourself. So this is Kilsyth. Twin Town Mulan. Is that not a Disney film? face. He's a lovely guy. He was refurbishing a big, massive Victorian house thing. I think he's just found them in the attic, basically. What he said was, up here, yep. Cheers, that'll buy my dinner tonight. So I'm now on the Tackneydown Road. Go for a tight slouch. Going up the hill, so I'm really stuck at 72 miles left in the tank, so that's fine. So I can afford to go up this hill for a wee bit. Quarry? That's not the quarry I was thinking of, although I could stop there. I'm sure there's a bit that on the right hand side there's a big wall thing which used to be like a big steel mill or something like that, just here. But that was 20 years ago, the last time I was here, so it might be, I don't know, houses or something now. This road doesn't look particularly good, Nick. And this is why the Americans wonder, this is why we have cars that have tight turning circles for roads like this. That's not big enough for what I thought. Well, it probably would be. Ah, there's a salt tyre. How lovely. This is not the place I was thinking of. Risk end aggregate. So it is. Okay. It wasn't. I didn't think it looked like that though. Right, okay. So we're on for a find it somewhere else. And the roads will just get smaller. It's a golf course. Okay. Bastards. But now I've got nothing against golfers apart from the amount of money it costs to be a golfer. Much better buying lots of guitars instead. Sheeple? I did pass two cyclists, but this is a hill, so they're probably 20 minutes behind me now, even though I just passed them 5 minutes ago. This is not a road you want to... That's a big gap down the side. What the hell's going on here? Imagine driving this road for fun. Just be an infestation of something. That's not that Japanese knotweed, is it? No, it's brambles. Imagine living up here. Do you know, like, there's a bit of a view. You know, like, you know, what's that? 5 minutes up a hill off the main road in Kilsyth, and you're here. And you get some great roads for driving a Panda on. This is where the Land Rover was really good because you could see over all the walls. And round corners more. Plus everything would just get out your way, apart from tractors. Motorbicyclists. I was looking for somewhere nice to stop. Maybe I could go up. So is that? We're getting that. There must be. That looks very similar. I think they're just not far up this hill. There's a car park. Might just be right here actually. Oh, jeez, I like that bit. Yeah. There's definitely a bit to stop there. That's quite monumental. Maybe sit on top of that. Maybe there's anyone at this car park, or if this car park is indeed. If I start going downhill again, I'll turn around and just sit on that wall or that rocky outcrop. I'm sure there's a Ford up here somewhere as well. I'd like to try and walk about 10. We're in the wilds here. Oh, there's a fence inside to keep people out, not people in. Every day's an adventure, eh? I'm going uphill. I'm now 55 miles to get to get home. So I've used 30 miles worth of petrol just coming up this hill. This is looking car parky, I think. Quite a lot of these blind. There's a road here. Fucking hell, you can see for miles in every direction. This will be a great tourism thing, trying to explain to people, like when I was in on the plane coming out of Shenzhen, as far as you could see in every direction was Shenzhen, the city, whereas here, I don't even know what bridge that is. It must be the new Kincardine Bridge. Here you can get a bit where you can sort of, this is the car park I was thinking of. I'll see if it looks any good. If it doesn't look any good, I'll go back down and sit on that wall. I knew there was a car park on this side. Oh, there's people here. And they're talking. Oh. There's a picnic bench to sit on. Aye. So we've got a bit of a view. Put this somewhere that you can actually see it. Like this. And press the button. Right, I'm back on again. And hopefully I'm not touching the microphone, so I've got something to point with. This pencil could do the job. So over there, I don't know if you can see, there's a bridge. That'll be the new Kincardine Bridge. So that's Stirling there. Rotating round. That's this is difficult to get. Right, yeah. That's a place. There's hills over there. There's a wind farm. There's wind farms quite far away over there. Yeah, that must be. Is that where I just came from? Is that cool scythe? I think it probably is. There's a loft of some description, which I didn't know was there. Well, as you go around, trying not to touch the mic, trying not to touch the mic. I think the way to do this might actually just put this in my head and great pointed stuff, eh? What's it those guys are talking? Okay, so there is Springburn, I think, if I'm right. There's a camera point over there, there's high-rise flats there. Springburn, the other, those hills on the other side, is that East Kilbride, the other side of the valley? I think it is. So Scott lives over there. There's a flaming, the Great Springfield Tyre Fire. Very quiet here. But I might see if I can. Let's have a look at this baby. Did say it was banky. Short scale, 2 saddles, those are the notched knobs I was talking about. Oops. Doesn't sound anything like in tune, does it? Let's see if it works. If it works, I'll get my phone. Chance of that noise. No noise. a little bit noisy here. It's pure sound. I can hear those two guys whispering over there. So I'll go somewhere a little bit more. What was you're talking about it? Yeah. Hey, Michael, stop with that noise. Put it back in my head there. Do a speedy up bit. I just need to remember where that wall was. Righty-hoo. Well, I won't use any petrol going back down the hill, I suppose. It wasn't the most convincing starting there. I think this battery might be on its way out. Right, so that way, the hills, this way back down the way to that bit which I think looked like a wall, but I can actually, it'd be nice to be out of sight of the road, wouldn't it? I just felt a little bit conspicuous talking. There were those guys talking, even though they were being very quiet, you could kind of hear them talking, so they could totally hear that bass, even though I didn't have it up anything like loud. Yeah. It's good to get a bit of scenery anyway. Get your eyes used to looking at things. I found that very difficult after the lockdown. Like it was like a year, I've not really been anywhere, and then I went down to see Ali, who's the drummer in Kraken House. He's got like a, he kind of looks a bit like this but less hilly. He's out in the middle of nowhere as well, and my eyes were struggling to focus on things that were miles away. You know, I was looking at things that were 5 miles away, and it's like, in a whole year, I hadn't looked at them. I've now got no miles in the tank. There is a petrol station at the bottom of the hill though. Two cyclists, there's two of them. One of them. There it is. That's something I would have tried. I think I tried to jump that in the Capri one time and managed to leave the ground. This is that bit with the wall here, isn't it? It is. I'll just stop here. I'm going to reverse in, which means that if the battery doesn't, it didn't sound like it wanted to start there. I should maybe think that one of my glow plugs isn't right. Maybe just reverse up there. I could maybe even sit on the bonnet of the car, do a bit of a video. That's what I see what this is. That's out the way enough. I don't think no cars pass, so I think I'll be pretty clear with that. So where can I put this? I've only had a strap. I can't really be bothered going up there. Maybe on that post. And it's windy. That's just going to pick up the wind, isn't it? Get wind. If I put it in the car, it's out the wind, but can I be in shot? Let's see. Hopefully it's not windy in there. How do you heat it or not, sir? Another question that could point out. Got and then overdrive, which is just boost it. This is the one that's got a clip on it. So if I had a strap, which I will have. Yep, I think this is going to be the download base. We don't know. Is it small enough to actually play in the car? It kind of is actually. It's small enough to play in the car without it hitting off the door. I get some real noise now. Obviously overdrive is the way to go with this thing. It's a tone, I turn the tone down. That's totally fine. For learning stuff, okay, it's got distortion on it. I mean, if I turn off the distortion, it's just quiet. Even then. Oh, winner, winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, as Scott always likes to say. I can't really go grumbling about that. And a useful thing to have. Strings are, I think it might actually be a 30-inch scale rather than a 32, so it's a proper short scale. I did actually have a measuring tape. I'll measure it when I go home. I don't like starting this car just now. No engine problems. Right. So, back down, get petrol, go to Home Bargains, or if I can be bothered going to Home Bargains, and seriously considering buying a kebab. I'm out in the car anyway, it's dinner time. I've got a video that I've got to put live. I think maybe petrol then kebab is the order I'm going to go for it in. But yeah, so nice wee drive about. And got a bit of a view. No, don't have me think. Make me have me think that Scotland's almost like this. As soon as you anywhere north, just looks like heaven, really, from here. Especially up the west coast. You know, 10, 15, between, I don't know, probably not even that. Maybe about 2 miles up that hill. From there to the top of Scotland is just all lochs and valleys and glens, and the main roads look like this. And it's quite nice. Makes a big difference when it's not raining though. You got to remember that view there is just a grey sheet for quite a lot of the time. Oh, you'd have to be some sort of sadist to enjoy cycling up here. Be good fun coming down. Feet off the pedals. This is a really bad bit of road actually. There's such a big jump down off the ditch. It's been surfaced 20 years ago, but it's like a foot off the ground. So they've just put on like a foot of tar. So it's like coming off. It's sort of like you can take your axles off. It'd be fine on a track discs and all that. This is one of the, this is the only time I've ever driven up this road, I think. No, I did it one time coming home from when I was working, but most of the time it was coming the other way, so you'd be driving over there, you'd not see anything anywhere, and it's like, oh look, civilization, there's like an old quarry. Looks different from this side. And then a couple hundred yards later, it's like, alright, I'm here, I'm just in Kilside, the bit I drive past hundreds of times. I'm glad there is a petrol station close by though. I don't like playing petrol station roulette, even though I seem to be doing it all the time. Really, I was being a bit more sensible with lugging stuff about all the time. You know, driving about with a full tank of petrol, especially in a wee car like this. It's like having another person in, or having another two people in. Which isn't good for fuel consumption, so ideally I should always have a tenner in it, a quarter of a tank sort of thing, half a tank. Any more than that, you're just carrying more petrol, or diesel in this case, which I know is not as environmentally friendly. Used to be cheaper, used to be a better thing, but I do like diesel engines because you get an awful lot more torque, not an awful lot of speeds, but I don't need speed. I don't need a fast car, I just want one that works, and not to be pure slow. Appreciated the driving slower when I got the Land Rover, because it didn't really like going fast. It did it, but it was just, you could hear it drinking the petrol at an alarming rate when you went fast. So therefore I just drove everywhere at, 30 mile an hour or whatever. Never broke the speed limit, certainly. Back on Kilside Main Street. Now, should I go to Home Bargains and see what food there is, or do I just settle myself and get a kebab? I'm going to go to Home Bargains and then I'll go to the petrol station. Yes, I'm going to go to Home Bargains first. Because if I go to the petrol station first, I'll decide I can't be bothered going to Home Bargains. Nice place. See, that guy had so much time to crawl out there. I know there was nothing coming for that whole time. Oh, come on. Right, here we go. Now we're back on the main street. Got my car MOT'd in there once. I like Kilsyth though. I'd live here. Maybe a little bit further out the way than I am. I'm not in a cab saying just on the edge of civilization. Well, civilization I still class as being Kirky as civilization, and then you've got like a mile across fields to get to Milton Captain, it's a wee tiny village. Then you've got another, I bet you it's 5 or 10 miles from here home. And Home Bargains we go, and I'm going to buy various energy drinks. Then I'm going to buy, maybe something for dinner. Then I'm going to go to the petrol station, which is just up there. Then I'm going to go to the kebab shop, possibly, and I'll probably get a doner kebab, probably. I was actually going to get a doner kebab on the way home from doing Bob's Loft. There's a woman, like a girl there, just blatantly just walking down the middle of the street, drinking a bottle of bucky. Like about a 17-year-old girl with a leather jacket on. Catch you later. Hey, well done, you made it to the end. So here's the base. The plan was that during all the editing bits, I thought there was a thing where I could like play the bass over the speeded up car stuff, thinking that'd be pretty cool. I could just kind of, play bass over it, but I don't see the option. It's getting late, can't be bothered. So there we go. This is basically all I've done is clean it. It was minging. I even took the strings off and boiled them, because when you pay a tenner for a bass, you don't want to pay a tenner for strings. So I measured it out. It's a 30-inch scale, so it's the same as an EBO. The tuners are sort of, basically I think the ones you get on the Squire Bronco. They're alright. These knobs are really close together, so I'm using like one of these jacks that's got the L shape on it, just to get it so there's actually, you get a chance of reaching the tone control. It's gonna. So it's kind of like a Squire Bronco, apart from a little bit more 80s looking, and it's actually got a bass pickup rather than just having a Strat pickup in it. I had lots of thoughts. I talked about them in the long video of what I was going to do. I was thinking of putting in a second P-bass pickup, one in here. Thinking that'd be pretty cool having two of them, and because kind of that sort of idea. I didn't do that to that one. I ended up painting it and doing all these things, and really I kind of like the idea of it cost a tenner, so I kind of don't want to do anything to it. It just depends what happens. But as you heard, running through the wee orange coloured amp, that's going to be perfect for going to download and camping and stuff like that. You just get sort of 30 fuzz bass that's loud enough to play along with an acoustic. Don't need any more than that. There is a bit of a jump. See, actually, just before my car broke down, a week before my car broke down, I saw a Jackson Minion bass, which kind of looks sort of like this, apart from pointy headstock, neon green. I think it was 60 or 70 quid. I thought that's pretty good. Quite fancy that. I have played one of them before. They're 28-inch scale. It really is a lot better having the 30-inch. The 28 gives you that. You can play it, but you have to be really careful. Whereas the 30-inch, same as an EBO, it's fine. So the only thing I think I'm going to change is this bridge. Not that I'm really that against like the two saddle bridges, it's kind of alright. But this saddle here is kind of bent going that way, so this string's intoned, and this one is obviously meant to be shorter, so it should be going that way, and it's not, it's going that way, so I could sit and try and bend it. I might actually have a go at trying to bend it with pliers first, see if I can get it in tones. I do like the idea of keeping this as a tenor, but I was also thinking of painting it purple. All the chips and stuff really just turned out to be, there's one chip there which I just coloured in red with a felt tip pen. You can't even see it anymore, and I kind of like it. I mean, we're getting down to things I didn't like about it. See, I've got a thing about dots on the edge of the fretboard. This one did have white dots, or does have white dots, but they're in the wood, in the maple, not in the rosewood. So I just put a wee bit of black pen on them so I could see them. You couldn't see them because they were the same. They were too similar colour to the wood. Ideally, you want them kind of in the rosewood, so it's like dark wood, white spot. Whereas this was like light wood, white spot. Really, there's not really that much else I can say to slag these off. These are good guitars. I like Encore's. Nice big Encore badge on it as well. And I'm definitely going to keep the Encore on it. This is me. This is my car bass now, so I will just have this. I think it will fit in a normal guitar case, which would be nice. And it's just a spare bass for partying, going out the boat, all that sort of thing. And it sounds good to me. That's me playing 350 watt Marshall, but I mean, you could get away with a rehearsal with this. Intonation's not 100% in just because of this bridge, but I'm pretty sure I've got a bridge line about that I'll just be able to put on. Just a bog standard P-bass bridge to do it. I was worried also it didn't have a truss rod because there's no markings there and there's no indent here, but there is actually a truss rod. You just have to take the neck off to get at it. Fender vintage spec style. And it's like the whole, I much prefer an output jack on the front rather than on the corner, like on most basses. But it does really restrict how close these knobs are together, which is quite annoying. But being a car bass or sitting down bass, if it's with an output jack there, it means I can sit anywhere, and the output jack's not. You're not sitting there constantly banging the output jack off your leg trying to find a comfy position. This is just fine. And the wee curly lead that I like using from a wee orange amp has got an L-shaped connector on it anyway, so problem solved. So this would be the before video. What I'm going to do, I'm not sure. The idea of putting two pickups in it was quite, it's not going to make it worth more money. It's not really going to make it any more useful. My thinking was that having two pickups and running them in series gives me a big massive super bucker, which will be louder, which means if I'm playing through a wee tiny amp, it's got more signal. But I don't think it's the volume that kills the wee speaker that's only that size. I think it's more just, it's, it just seems to fart more. So I think it would just make it less distinct. And Leo got the Fender
P-bass right first time. Even though this isn't a... I wonder why they didn't make it... Sensibleness to me would have said you'd make it a Mustang shape. Or a, you know, like a Geosonic. But no, they've just made it a smaller P-bass. And it's remarkably easy to play. There is a problem a lot of people have with the 30-inch scale being a little bit floppy, but I'm so used to it. When I'm playing a 32-inch scale tuned to C sharp, so I'm kind of used to playing with floppy strings now. I don't find these floppy at all, but I know I used to. You know, when I had my Music Master bass, I've still got my Music Master bass. When I had like a P bass and a Music Master bass, when you went to the Music Master bass, you had to be really careful with how you played it. And I'm not noticing that at all. And this thing's got ancient strings on it, possibly the original strings. You can still get Encore 3/4, or I saw it at Kenny's Music Set, 125 quid, but it's more P-bassy. Well, it's basically this, apart from it's got a scratch plate. I think they might be pretty good, and possibly a better buy than the mini ones. I know it depends how tight for space you are. I just think that the extra 2 inches, well, it's like, that's going to be like that much in fretboard, is a good, you want that. Even the difference between like a 30 and a 32, which that one is actually, how long is this video going to be? It's going to be flipping ages anyway, so well, I did notice this one being 32 inch. Look how tightly close together the strings are. They're really tight, and this is a really wide thing. Where's it? So the width of the fretboard at the, what would we go for, the 12th fret, and this one is 51, and the width of the fretboard, and this one's going to be 51 as well, isn't it? Is 60 there, so it's half an inch, 10mm wider at the 12th fret this than that one. Because I always thought this one felt like a really wee bass, but really actually when you put it up next to like a full size bass, like there's a bit of a gap there, and it's like if the other white one next to it's the same. It's a full scale, and it's not really. It's kind of, I'd even almost say the body in that one's bigger than that one, whereas this one, which I thought was kind of like that, actually is much smaller. What? To be toty thing. But if I don't stand in front of it, you'll see it. I'll stand on this side of it. No, I'm not going to do the TV presenting thing. There, see? It seems to be a good bit smaller, but it's only 2 inches shorter than that, scale-wise. Just a more efficient use of space. So in my ultimate travel bass would probably pretty much be this, but maybe headless. Oh, because that would make it longer. Or maybe, I can't do it with this one, but see, rather than having quite a long headstock, I would maybe have a 2-a-side. So the headstock's only that long, and then you would have ultimate travel bass without compromising on getting a decent playability and scale length. So thanks for watching. This is a bit of a disaster, I think, this video. I kind of left it too late. I was away this morning. Tomorrow's video, I love a guy off watching my live streams donated me a couple of guitars. That one there you can see there. This is a blinged out Strat, and this Gould, which I actually really like. I'm not sure I'm not going to really actually quite like this one. So this one is going to download, and we'll be using it in the campsite, and this will be my bass. I'll just be playing this the whole time that we're not actually at bands when we're too drunk to, or the bands are shit, you know. And then the special "Don't Steal Me" logo on the headstock. I was thinking purple would be pretty cool, like the Black Sabbath purple would actually be much cooler, wouldn't it? Or just split it like that, like that. So it's like I'll just leave the red and then just use whatever the rest I've got of that red left in the purple can to do the sort of top half. So it'd be, you know, purple here and then red here. Might look pretty cool.